Good morning. My name is Jessica Dabney, and I'm a consultant with Algorithm. And when I'm not consulting for fun, I'm raising Black Angus beef in the beautiful state of Montana. So, fun fact, my city has a population of under 100 people. So probably more people in your local fast food restaurant or parking lot than in my little city. So, and then let's get back to Acumatica 2024 R2 receiving. Let me start off by saying, have you ever wanted to start a project but can't find all your materials? Maybe you have a lot of receiving discrepancies within your company. Well, Acumatica now has a built-in redundancy available that, if utilized, can drastically reduce errors in the receiving process. Today, I'm going to walk you through Acumatica's receiving and put away process and its new ability to confirm receipts prior to releasing and enhancing inventory accuracy and accountability. So let me get you started over to that screen and show you my Acumatica. So I'm currently logged in as Ian Pick, a receiving clerk. He's going to do the automated operation of receive and put away. But first, there needs to be some minor configuration setups done. And normally your admin or a manager would set that up. You would go to your purchase order preferences. Under your warehouse management tab, down below, you see there's two checkboxes. I already have mine set up, but it's verify receipts and also keep zero lines. And so what that does is the verify receipts, it makes the receipt confirmation button become available, and your receiver, when he's doing that receipt put away process, will no longer have a release button. Now he'll have a confirmation button. The keep zero lines, what that does is it brings all your lines in with like a zero quantity so that your receiver can see those lines that are available. And I'll walk you through that so you can see that. So let's go ahead and get started. Going to your purchases module, receive and put away automated operation. I'm going to go ahead and put in my purchase order number. And let that bring it up. And as you can see, it brought up the 3 lines in my purchase order. If I scroll over to the right, it'll show now I have the 3 zero quantities. I can go ahead and now scan in each one of my items. So I'll go ahead and do that. Give me 1 second while I get these lines in there. And then I'm going to go ahead and receive in a quantity of 1 of each one, just to kind of give you an idea of how your receiving supervisor or manager can go in and make changes when your receiver has made a mistake. So currently I've received in a quantity of 1 each, as you can see there. And up above, now he has that confirm receipt button. It's no longer a release button, whereas before, the release button released the transaction, making it more difficult to modify that receipt and correct any inconsistencies or errors made by that receiver. So we'll go ahead and confirm the receipt. And then I am going to sign out of Ian, and I'm going to sign in as a different user so that I can show you now how someone else would go in and approve that. So as a manager, I could go back into my purchases module and I could take a look at those receipts by going over to purchase order receipts. And here there's also been a couple changes. Your status is now shows as received, whereas before there wasn't a status of received. And so I can go into this receiver and take a look at it. And it's now showing me my status received here as well, but there's also a new column to my right, received to date. So that's a new column that helps the manager to see, okay, what has been received by that receiver. So I have the vendor documents in front of me, the packing slip, and I can see, well, Ian received this incorrectly. It should have been a quantity of 1, 5, and 5, but per this receipt, it shows a quantity of 1, 1, and 1. So I'm going to go ahead and update that by changing my quantity on the receipt quantity, allowing my inventory to be a lot more accurate, right? Oops, well, maybe if I would put in 5 and not 51. There we go. All right, and from here, I could go ahead and release that receipt, but it all depends on your business process, right? So I could also release it in another area. So from here, I'm just going to go ahead and save it and close it and show you some other areas where you could also release that receipt. I could go back to my purchases module and I could do it from this release purchase order receipt process, which will allow me to do it more in a group. So now it's showing me all of my receipts that need to be released. However, I haven't verified them all yet, so I don't want to do that yet. So So I go into my purchases module again, and I take a look at my purchase order. I can take a look also here that there's been a new side panel tab added once I click on a purchase order. Let me go ahead and take one open. Let's see. Let's try that one, $24.95. And if I go over to the side panel right here, it'll show me the status of all the items that have been on this PO that's received. See my 3 received. It'll give me a status of the lines that are there. So it's receipt line by purchase order. That's a new side panel tab, new to Acumatica 2024 R2. Also, if I wanted to, I could go over to my widgets, which is a new widget that was developed, receipts to verify, and that's on the Receiving Clerk Dashboard. If I clicked on that receipts to verify box, it would then take me back to all my receipts that needed to be verified and approved. So as a manager, I can come in here and take a look at all the various receipts that I need to go throughout the day that perhaps Ian has received either earlier in the day or even yesterday. So I could go and click on each one, make my changes as necessary, and then go and release from there as well. So we've gone over all the different changes within receiving, this very minimal configuration that's required. I'm hoping you like these receiving changes just as much as I do. I'm a big fan of them.